Thanks to Leon Rose and this front office, the Knicks are in a prime position to go after any star that they want this offseason. And there have been a number of players that have been linked to the Knicks over the last few seasons, but probably nobody more than Donovan Mitchell. And the interest has been mutual. When Donovan was in Utah, the Knicks were actively trying to trade for him. However, according to an NBA insider, he actually states that the Knicks' interest in Donovan Mitchell today is a lot less than it was a few years ago. We're going to break down these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks' interest in Donovan Mitchell is not as high as it was last year. After seeing the season the Knicks just had, getting to the number 2 seed, even though they were hobbled and missing a number of players, getting all the way to the Eastern Conference semifinals, and were a game away from the Eastern Conference finals, and if healthy, I think we all agree they would be there right now. It's hard to ignore that. Same thing for Leon Rose in this front office. It's hard to ignore what you just saw. And because of that, because of the magical season the Knicks just had, it changes everything. When the Knicks are fully healthy, next year, they're likely going all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe beyond that. If you know that as Leon Rose in this front office, you're not going to be able to make the same moves you would have made last year. You're going to change things. Maybe you had a lot of interest in Donovan Mitchell, but now today, looking back on the season you had, that interest has to be down. And according to SNY's Ian Begley, that's exactly what he reported. Shout out to Knicks video on the app X for giving us the following information. Ian Begley reports that the Knicks wouldn't be as aggressive trying to land Donovan Mitchell this summer as they were 2 years ago if he becomes available. When you think about a fully healthy Knicks team and their potential and where they could go next season in the Eastern Conference, that gives you a lot of hope as a Knicks front office. It's also going to make you think about other players and their fit. Because let's face it, when healthy, we're going to have Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle on this team. 2 all-stars on this team. They also command the ball a lot. They also are very impactful with the ball in their hands. If you bring somebody else on this team, maybe let's say a Donovan Mitchell, somebody who needs the ball in his hands to be impactful, maybe you hurt what this team is trying to create. And according to Fred Katz of The Athletic, he states that the Knicks will search for their next great player this offseason, but they don't want that player to disrupt their culture. Meaning they don't want that player that they trade for to come in here and take away from the chemistry and what they're trying to build. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are likely going to get the bulk of the shots next season. You throw OG Anunoby in there, he's likely going to get a lot of touches as well too. Dante DiVincenzo, the way he shoots the 3-ball, you know he's going to get increased touches. He's going to need to, because if he becomes that legit threat from the 3-point range, and you have Julius Randle down low, making sure he's drawing 2 or 3 defenders, and then Jalen Brunson at the top of the key, making decisions, whether he drives, whether he passes, if he sees a double team, a triple team. These are the decisions the Knicks are going to have to make, and they're going to have the players in the lineup that's going to make the opposing team pay, because you're not going to be able to double Brunson. You're not going to be able to double Randle, because if you do, we have shooters on the court that are going to hit that 3-ball and make you pay each and every time. And with the attention that Jalen and Julius are going to draw, this Knicks team is going to be dangerous. That's why if you make the right trade for the right player, and he's the right fit, it changes everything for this Knicks team. If you look at what we're trying to build right now, and you look at a potential Donovan Mitchell deal for this team, does it make sense right now? Maybe a year ago. For me, it made a ton of sense. I think Donovan Mitchell might have been number 2 or number 1 on my list in terms of players, if they were available, I wanted the Knicks to trade for. But right now, as we speak today, my list has changed. It's updated. And why? Because I just saw the season that the Knicks have had, just like Leon Rose and this front office did. So I've updated my take. I've updated where I am on the situation. And now I feel like the player the Knicks should go after is Mikal Bridges, followed by Devin Booker, followed by Donovan Mitchell. He's not as high on my list either anymore because the Knicks just got to the Eastern Conference semifinals and they were literally broken when they got there. They were dealing with so many injuries. All of the players who were playing, by the way, were also dealing with nagging injuries. It's not like they were 100%. That's why a fully healthy Knicks team has me so excited and so hyped for next year. Really, what the Knicks need to add to their team is a solid bench that Tom Thibodeau will play, and also another star that you can add to the core of Jalen, Julius, and OG that won't take away from the core, but will be able to add to it, help it. A star that can play high-level defense, but also go out there and score a bucket when you need him to, but not be the focal point of the offense, because we have Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle to handle that. If you look around the league, there are not many stars that fit that bill, unless you look at Brooklyn and you look at Mikal Bridges. Because if you're looking for that type of star, Mikal checks each and every one of those boxes. And he also has some additional boxes he checks as well, too. Chemistry, check. Knowing your star player on the team in Jalen Brunson, check. Will he be able to have an immediate impact, especially under head coach Tom Thibodeau? Absolutely. Check there as well, too. He is the missing key for this team. The Knicks add him to this roster without giving up Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, or OG Anunoby. The Knicks are automatically an NBA Finals contending team each and every year as long as they keep that group together. After hearing that the Knicks' interest in Donovan Mitchell is waning, as well as that they're looking for a great player to add to the rotation, but obviously somebody that doesn't disrupt the culture or what we're trying to build, you might be thinking, are the Knicks looking for a star player or a very good role player? I assure you, Leon Rose in this front office is looking to make a star trade this offseason. According to Fred Katz, he stated the Knicks internally consider this offseason the time to push their chips in for a star player via trade. Again, New York owns all their future picks and their swaps, plus 4 additional first-round selections projected through 2027. The Knicks absolutely want another star on this team, and this offseason, they are going to look and continue to look until they find the star that they covet available and then try to trade for that player. As long as the cost makes sense, the Knicks will shake up their roster and have some new players on this team headed into next season. The only question is who those new players are going to be. But in my opinion, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and OG Anunoby, those 3 players are not going anywhere. Going back to Donovan Mitchell, Brian Windhorst of ESPN reported that the Cavaliers remain optimistic that Donovan Mitchell will sign a 4-year, $209 million extension this offseason. Once again, if Donovan Mitchell does extend, Clutch Sports will likely request a trade on behalf of Darius Garland to find him a better long-term fit. So it seems like change is coming to Cleveland, whether they like it or not. If they re-sign Donovan Mitchell, Garland is gone. If Donovan leaves, Garland's going to stay. But what do? How do you fill the Donovan Mitchell hole? And that's going to be the question for the Cavaliers. And if they can't fill it, they're going to likely have to trade Donovan Mitchell to try to recoup some assets back. And then you have to look at the teams available, what they potentially have in terms of picks and players, and what you're looking to get back. But the Cavs at this point, in my opinion, will have to trade Donovan Mitchell this offseason. He is likely not going to sign that extension with them, and they're not going to want to risk it going a season playing Donovan Mitchell and potentially have him walk in 2025 free agency. If they do that and lose him for nothing, it will be one of the biggest failures in franchise history for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They do not want to do that. They would likely trade Donovan, even if it means getting a lot less for him, because let's face it, if they traded Donovan last year, they would have gotten a lot more assets for him. Trading him this year, when it's likely he's going to leave next year if he doesn't sign an extension, they're going to get a lot less back for him. And that might make Leon Rose interested, because we already know with Leon, he likes to go after players that he can get for a cheap deal or a steal type of deal. And if Donovan Mitchell is available for a deal that is not going to cost him the farm, he might do that deal. But it all depends on cost and other players who are available. Because I believe if Mikal Bridges were available or Devin Booker was available, he would rather pursue one of those guys before he went after Donovan Mitchell. And that's just because of who those guys are, what they represent, and their impact to this team if they were to be added to it. Because we're trying to build a championship contending team. And after everything that we saw last season, it's clear the Knicks don't need to trade for each and every star that becomes available. They need to trade for the right player, the right star, who has the right fit. And as of right now, that's not Donovan Mitchell, not to Leon Rose, and not to this front office. And that's why we have insiders reporting that the Knicks' interest in Donovan Mitchell is a lot less. And that's why they're not going to aggressively pursue Donovan this summer if he becomes available from the Cavs. One thing I've grown to learn with Leon Rose, expect the unexpected. If you think a move could never happen, if you think a move is off the table, please let Leon Rose handle his business, because a move you thought never existed, he'll find it and he'll make it exist. And he'll make me blown away and create magic in the process. I can't wait to see what Leon Rose and this front office does this offseason, because if Donovan Mitchell is not the name, then you have to ask yourself, who is? But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks and the fact that they're likely not going to be as aggressive trying to land Donovan Mitchell this summer as they were 2 years ago? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.